Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
How is everybody today?
I'm good, thank you.
You're beautiful and you comb your hair?
I did. I put a little ponytail in too.
I know, right? Right. Pretty cool, huh? Well, let's do some hellos, huh? Gizmo was the first one in. Good evening to you, followed by the banquet of consequences. Unique Prepping's in the house. Hey, Unique, I'm so sorry about the live. I could not get in. We were having internet issues, and I tried about 100 times, and eventually just gave up and listened to you guys. But and it's too bad too, because if you look, check this out, Unique. See this? These are my notes for your live. So I was super prepared and ready to roll, but sometimes, it's just not quite how life works out, huh?
Yeah, we've been having all kinds of internet problems.
Yeah. Who else we got here? Farm Ranch Homestead. Good evening to you. Oh my goodness. Eagle Lover Texas. Good evening to you. Hey, I wanted to show this, by the way. Eagle Lover says, hey, everyone, pray for Houston. Downtown is shut down. Over 1 million people without power. Major electrical transmission towers blown down. Winds were clocked at 130 miles an hour. And she went on later in here to talk about how there's still panes of glass coming out of skyscrapers and falling down. Yeah, and so they're having a bunch. So make sure there's prayers out there. And I know we have a lot of community members in Texas, and just know our thoughts are with you guys. But I think it brings up another important point, which is the weather is changing, and we've had severe weather here that I don't remember before. And so I always tell people let's prepare for that and let's build to that. I don't know how you build to
130 mile an hour.
Well, you can build 130 mile an hour winds, but I don't know how you build to 260, right? But anyway, I'm glad to know, Eagle Lover, that you're safe. Let's see here. Who else we got going on? Skanes girl, long time no see, huh, bud? And we just seen her at the Midwest Preparedness Project, which we'll talk about tonight. Carrie Davis. Let me see here. Yeah, see, there's more weather. Carrie says, hello from Arkansas. And just wow, Eagle Lover, Texas. Had a tornado here last week, 100 yards from the cabin. Oh, my goodness. Yep, absolutely crazy, huh? The beautiful Wesley's in the house. And since she said it, I'll share it. They hit some good water today, which was pretty cool. They have recently had 2 wells dug on their land. And the first one was okay, but the second one was a lot better. And so, they got to level up in their ungovernable score by being water independent. And so big congratulations to you, Louise. Oh, look at there. Terminator's in the house. Terminator. Happy Friday to you. I've got a picture of you in my slideshow tonight. I'm not going to spoil it, but I might embarrass you. But anyway, it's cool. Let's see who else we got here. Kelly Ireland, good evening to you. Let's see here. It's kind of fun to try to remember which ones I've already said hello to. Hey, Dave and Sonia from Michigan are in the house. There's another YouTube channel you guys should go check out. One step closer. Long time no talk, my friend. Oh, my goodness. LJC. She's famous. I just spoke to your better half just minutes ago. Well, not really spoke, communicated through the internet with. So I guess that's really not spoke, huh? But let's see here. Jean Mankey, I got it right again. Look, I'm like on number 4. Good evening to you. City Greens, good evening. Leela, hello. Okay. Tamber Smith's in the house. Good evening to you. And the greatest name on the internet.
Half of Club.
Yep. See, we've got B trained, right? Let me see here. Vicky Pullen. I'm glad that everything's okay for you. We were curious last at not the last live, but the live before that you guys were okay, but super glad to see it. What else we got here? Dana, good evening to you. Jules, welcome back. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of messages in here. Gregory, what's up, bud? I think I already said City Green. Stan Guthrie, good evening to you. Oh my goodness. Aljo, how are you? Tell Barbara that we said hello. Midwest Ribeye. How are you? I think I'm going to get to the bottom one of these moments here. All right, that ought to be good.
Yeah, quite a few people.
Yeah, a lot of people talking. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Oh, amen. Hey, we've had a ton going on here. Mainly, let's just start. You want to start with Midwest and kind of go from there?
That was the first thing on my list too.
Okay. So we attended the Midwest Preparedness Project Festival, and we were there. I went Wednesday for just a little bit, and then we didn't go again until Friday and Saturday because I had guests at the house. and all of this. And it's interesting for me to look at pictures like this because I recognize, so many people that are out there in the audience.
Yeah,
and it was
who took
good. There was
that?
about 400 and I think 7 was the total count of people who showed up to, learn to be free and to, sit around and learn, build camaraderie and, build teams and, build community and, all of those things. And so it was a pretty good event. I think this picture was taken during the Freedom Panel, is what I believe this picture was. But anyway, I really hope more of you guys can make it. It's a really neat experience. And I've got the dates for the next 2 that I'll share coming up here just a little bit. Yeah, One Step Closer says it was a great weekend. Yeah. Hey, Hilltop Home Place. Welcome. Yeah, and there was a lot of people who were in this chat who made the, the festival. But there was some really interesting things that happened during it. Probably my favorite thing was it kind of felt like there was a bridge, kind of made.
A bridge?
And we had Lindsay and Graham down, and they're permaculturists. And, that whole environment of permaculture is typically going to be more, and I don't mean this any way disrespectful what I'm going to say, but more hippie. You know what I mean? Versus, where we live up here is kind of more redneck. But it was neat to watch Lindsay give her speech because she was welcomed with open arms.
Yeah.
And totally embraced. Her message was embraced. And it was interesting. I was talking to her afterwards and, we were just talking about how we're really not very different. We come from different places and, those kind of things, but, we're just really not that different. So I thought that was just super, super neat. Hey, Karen, welcome from West Central Minnesota in the house. A lot of things that went on during it. My favorite stuff is obviously the potluck. So you can see this is just one picture of a line of, people eating, kind of at the potluck.
Making their plates.
As they go down there. And then also Bartertown, which I love. Bartertown was really, really good this year, or I thought it was. And, I had a really, really good time. Yeah, One Step Closer says Lindsay was a live wire. She was. And, let me see here. Karen says, tag would be great if you could record sessions at the festival for those of us who can't make it. We did, Karen. I have the Freedom Panel in my inbox. I just have to put it into a video in here. But they're going to release video. They're going to release the videos of all the speakers.
Who?
Yeah,
Where can they find them?
Yeah, the Midwest Preparedness Project. You can find them on YouTube. You can also find them on Facebook. And so they'll really go over there and subscribe to them. Tell them Tag sent you. So they will release them as they come out. I'll release the Freedom Panel.
So they recorded every class?
Every class, yeah. The only one that wasn't recorded was my live, which we went live. So it's on my channel, already.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Hey, my good buddy Mo's in the house. What's up, Mo? Long time no see. The instigator himself is there. Says, I'm in week 1 of 8 months of my second permaculture course taught by Jeff Lawton. I'm about as redneck as they come. Yep. Well, it was just super interesting to see that bridge be made. And we were very different probably politically, Lindsay and I, but I'm going to go out on a wire here and, say that Lindsay and I will be friends for a long time.
Yeah, I enjoyed her.
Yeah, she was willing to listen. She was willing to consider. She was willing to debate. I really, really enjoyed it. See here, Tag. I was there on Saturday coming from my daughter's home. My 2 daughters held a Mother's Day special tea and get together. I still got on. Got to go to your live. It was fun. Yeah, and I got your picture, and I'm going to show it tonight if you don't mind. Wait a second. I missed something from Zach up here that was important. Let me see here. I'm almost ready for the software, just trying to figure out the technical. All right, cool. So you guys know we helped raise money for Zach so he could get the software he needed, and it looks like he's well on his way. Super exciting. There you go. There's YouTube Midwest Preparedness Projects. They're going to release the videos there. I'll leave that up there for just a little bit. So as you guys can see, so the picture to the left, that's Lindsay and Graham, and you can see them. They got free man hats. I actually had new hats made specifically for them. If you guys know that like the last batch I had some specifically made for Callie Blackwell that had the little mushroom on the back. These hats have a plant on the back of them for permaculture, and I had them made specifically for them. And so that's them in my living room. And then the picture on the right is we made best friends. So Lindsay and Callie Blackwell, who was also there and joined us on the Freedom Panel, they just clicked. they're kind of wired a lot the same way. And it's interesting how we can not only, get together and, learn, but we build these huge relationships.
Yeah.
And I know that Lindsay and Callie have spoken many times since the festival, and, they're collaborating on how they can work together. And it's just an absolute beautiful thing. Mississippi Homestead Journey, how are you? And welcome. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. No. Hey, Dorothy Holloway. Welcome. So that was pretty neat. The next Midwest Preparedness Project, the Fall Festival, will be September 3rd through the 8th, and the Spring Festival will be May 6th through the 11th. I'm not going to mention who it is because I don't want to burst the Midwest Preparedness Project's bubble. But I spent a good part of yesterday getting a super cool speaker coming on the Spring Festival. So like a year from now, all booked. But anyway, let's get out of this. Yeah. All right. Prep Rebel Actual. Welcome back. You're not late. You're right on time. We're 11 minutes in. That's pretty on time for YouTube, So what'd you think about the Midwest?
I had a good time.
Anything weird or interesting or?
Well, this was the first year they had well, no, I was going to say food vendors, but they had Yoda was there last year.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of Yoda's food.
Yeah. The food truck there on top of Yoda cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was nice. Gives, lots of options. It's usually not very commercial. There's a few vendors, but it's usually not over the top.
No, but it was,
yeah.
So usually when we first started going, we would take a cooler and we would have like 3 to 5 families, and we would go together and plan meals, and so would bring these items, and that person would bring those items, and this person would bring these items. And then if one person ended up not going, then we were like out those items, like hot dog buns, like significant items to make our meals. And then we changed it to everybody bring their own food, and we're going to do breakfast burritos. You make yours, I'll make mine, you make yours. We'll get together and we'll heat up those breakfast burritos. And then it's kind of gotten to the point where I don't even have to take food now.
Yeah.
I can go, and Yoda has nachos and hot dogs and all these things that you can pick what you want. They can pick what they want. Our sons can pick what they want. And everybody has, something to eat. And now there's, multiple food vendors. And so, he wanted something from over there and you wanted something from over here. And so it was
nice.
It was a lot easier for me because I didn't have to worry about how am I going to feed everybody? And, I need more ice. And, I didn't bring the buns, and just eat your hot dog plain. And so, with us going back and forth from home, doing chores, and then going out there in the morning, I didn't have to worry about any of that. We take our chairs, we leave them there. We are able to bring our barter stuff one day, and basically it was super easy.
Yeah.
I found it to be a lot easier this year than in years past.
Masio Parrot, not Patriot. Welcome.
So I like that. With you talking about Graham and Lindsay being here, I really enjoyed walking around our property and being able to look at things, and them. I'm like, oh, this looks familiar. I'm not sure what it is. And Graham's like, boop, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're fast to identify the things that I'm like, oh, I think I know what that is. Or,
Yeah.
oh, I think that's useful.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I watched Graham and Lindsay both have some homestead come up to them that was having some kind of problem, and them just donate.
Problem with air. There was a lady who was talking about air locations.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff, but there was one guy who had high iron content in his water.
Oh,
right, and Graham is he's very specialized in water, and so he got to say, hey, go do this, and go do this, and this will help.
Yeah,
it will help you on that, and was super willing to do it, super happy to do it. And I got spoiled because I got a whole bunch of them long before the festival turned on. Right, which we'll talk about. But hey, not that kind of Karen's in the house, and I'm glad you're not that kind of Karen. Unique says, hey, Tag, thinking about doing another children community live on the 29th. I'm going to have an interview on Wednesday. Yeah, let me know. I'm happy to be involved.
As long as we have internet.
As long as we have internet. Well, right now it's
Yeah, it's
obviously
working
fine.
now.
Hey, look at that. The legend, the myth, Silver Lining is in the house.
Hello, friend.
Yep. So as we're talking about Lindsay and all of them, so on Thursday before the Midwest Preparedness Project, I had Lindsay at my house, Graham at my house, the combat midwife at my house. I had Callie Blackwell and Jesse at my house, and then a lot of community members at my house. And so we got to spend the whole day, kind of walking the ground, looking at everything, hanging out, eating,
Asking questions.
Yeah, making fun of each other, that, just the absolute normal stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really cool to have them there.
And then we had other community members here who were also able to ask them questions about cover crops and grazing rotations and all kinds of things that came up that I'm like, oh, let me write that down.
Yeah.
Oh, let me write that one down too.
Yeah. Hey, JB, welcome. And Indiana Mike, welcome. And JB, we have the picture of this app. We use it all the time. So the question is, hey, Tag, you got your tribulation training shirts. We did. Let me get rid of this so you can see it here. There we go. Did. And on the back, wait, it says?
There's a B.
No.
And it says intentional. Be intentional.
We finally got them in. And the question was, how do they order one? Email B, right? One of the mods want to put my email address up there. That would be great.
Yep.
And she'll get you hooked up on it. Guys, I'm not in the t-shirt business. We make them because, people enjoy them, but we don't do it the fast way.
Right. And we don't have a whole lot in stock. We don't keep a lot.
The lady who makes them is local, and she does a very good job, but she's slow. And we like using her, and we're going to continue to do that. And then, we have to go down and figure out shipping and all of that stuff. So it's not a super fast process, but we'll take care of it if somebody's interested.
I have somebody who wants me to order some more of the Starve the Beast, Starve the Beast on the back, New Level, New Devil. You know how the silver color, the light shirt with the red and blue with the guy. Mm-hmm. I have a gentleman who wants a shirt, wants one of those.
New Level, New Devil shirt.
Yes, so I do have to place an order, and in order for me to place an order, I have to order like 13 shirts or something like that. So, I will be placing another order here very soon.
Yeah, and we have some in stock. We might have 20 or 30 shirts in stock probably, but anyway.
But they're all different. I've got a couple of these, a couple of the tribulation training in red. I think like a couple of red larges because I needed to use up the shirts before I could order more.
So there's my email address right there. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I will respond. At least I'll do my best to respond. Let's see here.
Right.
Yeah, Mississippi Homestead Journey says just got Starlink. It took less than 15 minutes to upload a video where it used to take over 4 hours. Ooh. Yeah, good internet's really, really important. So anyway, I had Lindsay and all them stuff down here. And so the progress on building an academy here at my house is ongoing. We've been working on the community building. And today we poured another pad of concrete today. They got here at about 1. Is that right? How late were they? They're supposed to be here at noon.
Yeah, they got there about 1:30.
1:30?
Yeah, about.
Oh my!
Because I called them at 1:23 and we're talking to them, and they said they're around the corner.
Yeah. So this is 13 yards of concrete just in this one pour. The good news is the pad for the building is in. I've still got some retaining walls to build. I've got some other footings to build for some other things, but we did get this pad poured today, which was nice. And it's so fascinating to me to watch, but I put out a text that just said, hey, I'm going to pour concrete at noon. If anybody wants to help, knock yourself out. And there was about 8 people that showed up.
Yeah.
And, there's just no expectations. There's just no, we're just there to work together. I don't feel guilty. Like, I don't feel like I have to say, hey, can I give you gas money for driving over here? It's just without those expectations and without those chits and without, I'm not keeping track and we're not keeping score and those kind of things. And it was just super, super neat to go through. And I just can't thank everybody enough. I know you guys are busy, but you come over anyway. But it's the same. We're all busy. Right.
And it's not always the same people every time.
It's different.
Because, they're busy. And so they come when they can. And then there's, we don't hold a grudge when they can't. It's well, that's what community's all about, right?
Yeah. Leela says, awesome. How big is the pad? So it is right now, it is 30 by 62, but I've got another 10 foot to pour for the patio because there's going to be an overhang off the front of it, which will be the what we're working towards. I got to get the
10
footing.
Foot also.
And that's out of 10 feet. So when it's all said and done, it'll be 40 by 62 when I get it done. Leela. The famous American Roots is in the house. Hey, happy Friday.
Can't wait to see you.
Yep, we'll see you guys soon. Yeah, Gregory says flat work takes many hands. Yes, it does. Yeah, yes, it does. Jules said I wanted to show up and help, but things come up. You know what? Here's the cool thing, Jules, is that's one good thing about having a big community. Like today, I didn't meet a lot of people today. In fact, I could have got it done with half of the people I had.
Yeah.
But it was super nice. We blew right through it. It took us less than 2 hours to pour that and smooth all that out and get that all ready to go. Yeah. And for a bunch of rookies.
Came in 2 trucks, right?
Yeah, 2 trucks. Yep. I had 2 trucks with 6.5 yards on it a piece. And again, poured 13 yards. Had about a half yard left over, which we dumped into a footing. And off we go. It was funny when I was leaving, someone, not exactly sure, but somebody took a little bit of concrete.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
made a stepping stone?
Yeah, I made a stepping stone, put it on a piece of plywood. So I took a picture.
I love that.
Yeah, I think Wes did it, but I'm not. That's what I think. Hey, Spags Unfiltered's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Yep, you just joining us, Spags. We were talking about Midwest, and I shared the dates for the fall and the spring festival. But it was pretty cool to see that go through. So what else? So we, as I mentioned, we had Lindsay and Graham here. We did a complete site walkthrough, and we've been through a lot on this now. So we've had all of the soils tested. How many individual plugs do you think you pulled for dirt?
Well, testing? I did 12 to 15 on each sample.
And you did 6 samples?
5 samples.
Okay. So 5 times 15 basically is how many different samples we pulled across the property.
Well, and I tried to use the plug. I borrowed a soil plug. What do they call that? I borrowed it. It was supposed to just pull little plugs out of the earth, but the ground was too wet at that time. So you ended up digging like, I don't know what you would call them because they were no longer plugs. They were big like chunks. So
so Bobby says, I know what TAG did not do at Midwest. Well, why don't you share with us, what did TAG not do?
What did TAG not do?
Yeah. So anyways, we've been going through all of this and we're working on different zones and different regions. And these pictures that I want to share you guys, they're not the greatest pictures, but it's because they're from a software and stuff we're working on. They're not meant to be super crystal clear and all of that. It's more mapping and it's more stuff like this. And now what I'm going to share with you guys is not the design. Go to Bartertown and get a pregnant cow.
Oh, can we get pregnant cows at Bartertown now?
Yeah.
Bobby, talk to me. Are they Dexters? Is there a white Dexter involved?
Thanks, Bobby. I'll remember that. Anyways, these pictures aren't going to be the best pictures, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys some of the stuff that we're working on. So we've been working on, this is an overall picture of my property. And if you look at each color represents a different zone and there's different planning that's going on in them. And I just thought I'd kind of run through all of these with you guys. So if you look, this first map is where we're mapping out water and you can see the ponds. I have 4 ponds on my property. You can also see where they've marked out the water lines that are already in the ground and then where they need to go. And so I've got to work on getting water lines to these different locations for part of the design and part of the, the process we're going to go through.
The project.
Yeah, the project. So this is just simply a water map. The next one talks about different buildings. So if you look at the biggest square right there in the middle, that's the community building, which is what you guys see me pouring concrete on today. There's a lot of other stuff, Wallapeenies and campgrounds and all kinds of stuff, that are working on going in. And so we've been working on that. This is the third map here is the road map. So not all of these roads are in. I have not built all of these, but the one that goes to my house, that's in. The one going down to the community building is about a quarter of the way in, but I don't have it across the dam and I don't have it going out totally the other side. But these are the things that I've got to get.
That's going to be a lot of rock.
Yeah, a lot. Gypsy says, checking in, just got back from the property. Another day of tribulation training behind me. Look at that.
Woohoo!
Guys, it's never easy. And, it's all about mindset and about how we go and tackle things. Anyway, so if you put all 3 of these maps together, this is what you get. And so this is what we're working on right now, is to try to understand all of this, make sure that I get everything in place that I need to get in place, all the infrastructure. So I'm focused on infrastructure and, getting all these other pieces in so that the rest of it can go on.
Well, technically these waters connect, don't they?
They do. Yeah. The big pond and that closest pond to it, they actually connect. They didn't draw that in there, but they do. But the other thing is that the second pond, I have another space for another big pond up here, right? Because I dammed this one up. I don't know if you guys can see my
dam
mouse
again?
or not. I might.
I don't think they can see your mouse. I think we figured that out last
Did we?
time.
Okay. So that's basically putting them all together.
I think it's interesting too. If you go back to that picture, it shows where
Here, I'll go back.
how the pond is, the top pond is, or the large pond is overflowing. It's full.
Mm-hmm.
So where the dock is all like underwater.
Yeah, the dock isn't.
Well,
but all that whole area is. Yeah.
The road going around the dock is underwater.
Yeah, LJC, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's all I got to say. So,
yeah. Probably not. I think this is going to be a few years in the making.
Yeah, but the coolness is it just gives me a plan. This year, the goal is to get the community building in, get the barn built.
And the road to it.
The road to it, and finish pod 4. Right?
Pod 4, the road to the community building, finish the community building, and what?
And the barn.
And the barn.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and B is super excited about
Yes, let's talk barn.
Yeah.
Did you put that in there?
What?
The design for the barn?
I did last time.
But you did. Did you have it all?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know we had been finalized.
Yeah, and Gregory wants to know, are you pumping water to some of those spots, Tag? Yeah, I am going to do some water pumping. I may dig another well for some of it too. We'll just have to see how it works out and, how I manage to get through it. Because part of it is how fast can you feed it?
Fund it?
Yeah, fund it. I call it feed it. You call it fund it. But, and so all of those things are going to play a role. And then what do I get at super clearance, right? Because at the end of the day, if I can go find pumps or I can go find things, it may speed up one process and slow down, kind of another.
Yeah.
Bubble Off Plum says, trying to get a hand pump installed at my son's house. Place said need to have a separate well from the one that supplies the house. I've seen them put them in existing wells. So I don't know much about that though. Yeah, Haas 14. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Gypsy says, everyone, sorry about the slow typing, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You must have been busy.
I relate. Well, since they were out at the farm and we were doing aerials and we were looking at anything, I thought I'd give you guys some pictures of kind of where things are at. So like I got one of Bee's garden, right?
Yikesy.
That's all right.
Yeah, some of that needs to be gone through.
Yeah, some of it does, babe.
Yeah, so the potato rows look fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not so much. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then that little patch at the south end there, or that would be east, but yeah, wow. The trees look great.
Yeah, Kelly says, I know I asked this once before, but I forgot. I'm just now getting to put fencing up. If you are having cows and horses, how far apart do you put your posts? So it depends on the post, right? So like what I try to do, like the fencing that I'm building now,
For the paddocks.
Yeah, has a T-post every 8 feet and then a steel post every 9 T-posts. So it goes 9 T-posts and steel, then a big 3-inch steel post concreted in the ground. And then 9 more T-posts and a big steel post. But I mean, I know that there are some people out there that would say, no, do it 4. And I know other people that say, no, do it 20 feet apart. So,
and then there's some people that only use T-posts and do a whole fence out of that.
Right.
A couple pieces of barbed wire and call it good.
Right.
But I have seen the cow. I've seen Cowboy, who is the Angus, who was 700 pounds in March, back his butt up to the fence and like scratch his butt on the fence, and it like bowed the fence. Like I had to
Yeah, baby's got back.
stick him and get him off of the fence because I didn't want him to break the fence. But he backed himself into there and just scratched his butt on it.
You got to itch your butt. You got to itch your butt.
I know.
Maybe we could prevent some of that if you get an itching post out there. A place for them to scratch.
Like what?
Oh.
What do you put on a itching post?
Look at that. The blue shipping container looks full of ice chests.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder who that blue shipping container belongs to.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Not it. Let me see here. Where's that at? LJC said, I also think it depends on the type of fencing you're putting up. Barbed wire, filled fence, fixed knot. Yeah. Yeah, Gypsy says, add an electric line. Or at least some barbed wire, right? Kelly says, your garden looks better than mine. All I have is potatoes. Yeah, well, it's that time here. We've got to get focused on getting back in there and get stuff growing.
Yep, I'm going to be in there tomorrow.
Yep.
And Sunday.
And Sunday.
And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Which is
and
good.
look at all that junk is gone from the bottom too.
Yeah, I had a guy come get a load of scrap metal, which was pretty cool. So that pile's gone, right?
Yeah, which is helpful. He just took it.
Yep.
We didn't have to pay him.
Yep.
He just took it.
Yep. And that got cleaned up.
Yeah.
The other thing we did is I also took a snap picture of bees' swells. Now, guys, understand that right now here where we live, it's now just starting to kind of come on, right?
Yeah. Well,
so you can see they look a lot empty, but there's stuff in pretty much all of them except that tail end over there. But
yeah, no, there's nothing in those right there.
Yeah.
And this one right here. Those are all ready to be planted.
Did you know they can't see your pen when you're doing it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just telling you that everything on the right is new this last year.
Yeah.
So look at that comfrey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 at the top there. Those are
all comfrey.
Those are huge. Yeah.
Gregor says we do a post every rod 16.5 feet with barbed wire for pasture fence. Yeah. American Root says love your shirt tag. I got one for you. Just come and get it. Right. There, my buddy Dan is in the house. How are you, bud? I hope all is well with you. Another Texan.
Oh, and you can see the new road.
Yep, working on it. You guys on the right-hand side, you can see that brand new gravel I'm working on. That road will go down to the community building at some point.
Did you purposefully make it that wide?
Yeah, I want to make
much more.
No, I want to make this road wide because I'm going to have a lot more of people going in both directions.
Oh.
Right.
People. Okay.
So I'm purposely making it wide as I work my way down there.
That's smart.
And
then don't plant so close to it.
Yep. Dan says, hello, brother, life done free. Yeah, Dan is, for those of you guys who don't know, is probably the guy I've known, my friend I've known the longest. Since middle school. I've known him and we, did a lot together. All right. What's my next slide, I wonder? Oh, yeah. So this was cool. You guys know that we have our own medical system up here and that we're very, very proud of. And I told you guys before that when you walk in the door, there's a sign that says Common Sense Medicine. And so I took a picture of it. We were there. I had my annual checkup. And but I took a picture of something else too. They also have a picture on their wall that says from Galatians 4:16 says, have I now become your enemy by telling you the truth? How cool is that as a sign to be hanging in a doctor's office?
Wow.
Right?
I didn't see that in there.
You didn't? I did. I seen it on a wall and I stopped to take a picture of it because, well, I know all you fine people out here would be interested in seeing that. But how would that make you guys feel if you walked into your doctor's office and those are the two signs that were hanging on the wall when you walked in? I'd be curious to hear from you guys. How would you feel? I thought
some people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear.
Yep. Well, I don't think that would be very many people in this audience, though.
No. No, we don't tend to hang out with those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was super, super cool. And so everybody knows my physical was fine.
Yeah, that's it. We're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay.
No, that's cool. Let me see here. Skanes Girl says it would make me feel better, actually. Yeah. Dana, hello, says I'd love it. Farm Rant says I love to see those signs at the doctor's office. Yep. I would say I'll be back. Right. If I'm screwing up, I'd like to know so that I can fix it. I'd much prefer to hear the truth no matter what. Yeah. It, like I said, it's very comforting to me. When we were out at Midwest, Daniel, who's my doctor, was there. So was two other doctors from that place were out there hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was neat to talk to him. Actually bought a couple IFACs from him. One so I could add to one of B's vehicles. And then one I bought for my boy. Just because I can't help but spend money on them because it's just
who you are.
It's just how it works. Yeah. Let me see here.
Sharing is caring.
I had a doctor that used to put up those signs. Was it a good doctor's office? Was it more than signs? I hope it was. Ours is. But what else? I got some other news. So I got 2 pictures to share with you guys. So the first one, that is the famous Terminator herself. And on Mother's Day, she sent me a happy Mother's Day with that picture. So I thought I would share with you guys.
She got all dolled up.
Yeah, she got all dolled up. And the second picture is, see that guy in the red there in the tank top? So that is my cousin's boy. That's Brett. And Brett has qualified for the Olympic trials in track and field.
No kidding.
Yeah, how cool is that? So would that make it my second cousin? Because it's my cousin's boy. So my dad's brother's son's child.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be my second cousin, right? Yeah. So let me see here. Pockety says, local college of nursing got over $2 million grant to train and keep more nurses in Arkansas. Maybe listen to the reason they're leaving would be a cheaper path. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Just maybe. I don't know. But I'm excited for Brett. I'm excited that he has a chance to go compete to be in the Olympics.
Heck yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Jay John says, what race? I'm not sure. Let me go back here. I don't know if it says it or not. He's a long distance runner, but I don't know exactly which ones. Sorry about that, Jay Jones. I'm just not sure. But anyway, I think it's pretty neat. Pretty neat to me. Oh, what else happened? Oh, thank you, Cricket. Says congratulations, Brett. Yeah, you know what? It's his dream. I hope he goes for it. I hope he does well. My family's got tons of athletes in it. So his dad, make sure I got this right. So yeah, so his grandpa was a professional boxer. His dad and his uncle, because there were 2 boys in the family, were both played collegiate basketball. So there's then the other brother's boy was a catcher for the Dodgers. And anyway, we got a bunch of athletes in the family, and I didn't get any of that. But
no, you got homesteading.
I got homesteading, right? Yeah, I did.
You're gonna grow your own food.
Dan says first cousin once removed. Okay. I'll take that. I wish I had doctors like that. Unfortunately, my doctors want to check if I have CP every year. I ain't laughing at you, but I'm laughing with you. So we told you guys what happened on the homestead through the weekend, and then back on Thursday, I had everybody here. Wednesday was my birthday, and my beautiful bride bought me a Stihl 40 462C, which is a big professional heavy Stihl chainsaw. That was now my 4th Stihl chainsaw, right?
Yes,
I have
this
4
one's
now.
Different.
Okay, so tell us why this one's different.
It's
I do
just
agree
bigger.
with you. Because it's bigger.
It's just bigger.
Well, it's a professional model.
Yeah.
And it's bigger.
It's bigger.
Yeah.
I was trying to replace the one that your dad gave you.
Yeah.
That got lost.
Yeah, I didn't lose it.
Right. Somebody borrowed it and it got lost.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty cool that my wife buys me chainsaws for my birthday. Right. Which you can always use stuff like that. I needed a bigger one. Like the biggest one I had before was a 20-inch blade. And so this one will do up to a 36-inch blade, just for some of them bigger trees, which.
And it came with a 25 already on it.
Yeah.
But it will go up to 36.
Yeah. So I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to try it. I haven't even started it yet, but.
He said if you take it in there, he'll register it for you and get it started and put all the fluids in it.
Well, next time you're driving by, take it in there.
Drop it off.
Yeah, or I will. But
I think you should put your name on it so that like it doesn't accidentally get.
Gregory says I got one of those really beefy. Yeah. Yeah, really beefy. You know, one of my ideas on it, I don't know how well this works, but what if we were to put like a 20-inch blade on it or a smaller one, an 18-inch blade? Would that just not give you so much more power?
I don't know.
Running a little bar with I don't know.
Why would you want to do that though if you already have some that have the smaller bars
Because
on
imagine putting a big engine in a little car. Right? If you put a big engine, this is me in theory, right? In a little bar, you just shred through stuff. You have so much.
You don't think you'd shred through it now anyway?
Yeah, but man, that thing's heavy, babe.
It's 12 pounds.
Holding that thing up, I don't care who told you it was 12 pounds.
It said it on the sticker because I was looking for long bar, lightweight.
It didn't feel like 12 pounds to me. Yeah, it's a guy thing.
Maybe that's before the chain, before the bar.
Maybe
that's like the engine part, and then you put the bar on it, you put the fuel
it's
in it,
before
you
the
put
bar,
oil
before the covers, before the trigger, before the
trigger.
Yeah,
That
just
should come on
the
it.
engine's 12 pounds without oil or fuel. Yeah,
It's a guy thing.
It is a guy thing for sure.
Yeah, if you want to put a smaller bar on it, knock yourself off.
Yeah, 100%, right?
But I think you should put your name on it, so because just like when you had the last ones serviced,
you get a brand.
They accidentally gave it to somebody else who took it home and used it, and then they had to, the store actually had to call them and was like, we gave you the wrong saw.
Gregory, I could not have said that better myself. Yeah. I think that's the perfect answer. Yeah. Yeah. Gizmo says put an air tag on the saw, GPS tracker.
Yeah.
I think we should just get a brand, and every time I get a tool, we can just brand it. What do you think about that?
I don't care. I think we should do something.
Yeah.
We lose more tools than I'd like to lose.
Yeah, and you leave enough tools out in the dirt that probably counts for half of them.
Me?
You.
I didn't leave the jumper cables outside. Who was that?
That was you.
No, I lent my jumper cables to you, and you left them outside.
You guys know that as Bethany progresses in age, she's suffering from the early signs. Right, her memory's going.
Thank God.
Yeah. Let me see here. LJC says, do you have a brand tag? You have cattle now. You need a brand. We do need a brand.
We do need a brand.
Yeah, Gizmo said my dad engraved his name all over his tools. Yeah, I need to do that. Yep, an engraver.
Oh, my dad did that, remember?
Yep.
He engraved his social security number on them.
Yeah, more power, more power. Yeah. Yeah, Carrie Davis said put a Tinkerbell sticker on the saw. Yep, this is one tool that B will probably never pick up.
Never.
She'll use the little ones, but Jay John says our dad used to engrave his tools. I have a pair of pliers with his initials. How cool is that? Yeah, super cool. I got a picture for you guys. What do you guys find? I took this picture myself, by the way. Okay, this was in Menards. Anybody find anything interesting about this picture? I'll give it a minute.
The candy bars are over $2 a pack.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Something else super interesting about this picture.
There's a lot of M&Ms. There's empty spots.
Anybody else? Jay John says all. Okay, we'll start sharing these. Jay John says all by Mars Company and no gum. Gizmo says all junk food. Not that kind of Karen says poison.
Yeah.
Wow, a 69-cent candy bar is over $2.
Yeah.
And for the win, they're all supersized size. There's not a single regular sized candy bar in there. They are all king size. Every bag of M&Ms, every bag of everything is king size.
Wow.
Yep, it's pretty full. Mostly M&Ms. Yep. They're all made by the same company. Yep. Hey, Lazy Loper, welcome. Yeah, what I found so fascinating about this is if you look really close, every single one is king size. They're not selling the small.
It's because you're at Menards.
Might be.
And it's a man store, so they're like, we got to get man-sized candies in there.
I don't know why. Or maybe that they just are trying to speed up the process.
Oh, kill you faster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like big bars and I cannot lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if everyone finds that as fascinating as I did, but when I was standing in the Menards line and when it caught my attention, I'm like,
did you buy one?
No. But I just sat there and looked at it, going, I wonder why they would all be king size. Like, what's the point of that? because I was actually going to buy a Twix bar, but I didn't want a king size. I was hungry, but I didn't really want to eat a king size, So I actually didn't end up buying anything, but
probably good.
Probably better for me in the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Gregory says Susie and I get a king size and share the nut roll. I like nut rolls too. I try not to eat that stuff as much anymore, but
because we know it's all poison. Yeah. It ruins your immune system. It makes your butt big and
hey, Brett,
kills your appetite.
Yeah, G. John says if they shrunk them and charged $1, they would be a quarter of that size. Yeah, but you guys remember, like a Snickers bar wasn't always king size. In fact, I remember when the supersized candy bars came. I remember when they were a quarter.
For the big ones?
For the big ones.
Oh, come on now. Seriously?
Yeah, a regular Snickers was a dime when I was a little boy.
They didn't have king size when you were a little boy.
No, I was probably 6 or 7 or 8 years old when they came. When the king size came out.
My mom would never buy
and actually, they weren't king size. They were big block. They called them big blocks, and they were like Crackles and Hershey's, and it was the first of the king size. I just totally aged myself, huh? Marketing, in order to charge the over $2, they make the bars bigger, considering the main cost is the packaging and advertising, not the product. Yeah, we were at a local hardware store the other day, and I noticed all the goodies next to checkout: candy, chips, and ice cream. Mm-hmm. One step closer says, I remember getting fried pies for 50 cents. Yep. My mom would give me a quarter. This is when I was 5 or 6 or 7 years old, would give me a quarter. I lived in Tilden, Nebraska. And she'd give us a quarter. And there was a little store kind of on the main street called Grandma Johnson's. And you could go in there and they had little green army men. You could buy a pop, or you could buy, a quarter wasn't very much, but I could go in there and get a couple little army men and a soda for my quarter.
For a quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lazy Loper says, tag, you be old. Yeah. Yeah. Gypsy said, how did the fine print reading turn out? Barn. Fine. Everything's my fault. I mean, that's what the fine print basically says, and they have no responsibility to anything.
Of course.
Right? Pretty much.
Of course.
I was going to say Tag is older than dirt and water, but then I remember he's younger than me. That's right. Don't forget that, Jules. Don't forget that. Let me see here. I used to buy a Snickers and a Dr. Pepper for a quarter in high school. See? Not all of us can be 29, babe.
You're like, I'm aging myself. It has nothing to do with the silver in your hair.
I didn't have any silver till I met you.
Come on now. That's not my fault.
But you do agree when you met me, I had no silver.
You were also in your 20s.
Oh. Yeah, I remember getting candy for a pickle when I was a kid. When I was a kid in the 80s, I could go across the street and get 4 tacos for $1. See? We just went through Tilden on our way to Norfolk Tuesday. Yeah, so my family, Gregory, comes from Tilden. That's where my grandma and grandpa were raised all their kids. My dad, all my uncles, all of them. And a lot of them still live there to this day.
Or in that area.
Yeah. Being a carnivore, this last 3 months has changed my perspective on processed foods. I'll never eat it again. Good for you. What else? So we had some tragedy on my farm. Well, I consider it tragedy. A lot of people probably won't consider it tragedy, but I do. So my skid loader really broke. Not just not like a little broke. So it really broke. Oh, Lazy Loper says a nickel, not a pickle. I'm like, okay. So
that makes way more sense.
Candy for a nickel. I'm like, man, you're bartering pickles. How cool is that?
Pickles, man.
Yeah. So
just keep the pickle.
This is a picture up in the top engine compartment of my skid steer. And you guys see those open holes there. And I don't think you guys can see my mouse, but in that big hole on the right-hand side, there's a hairline crack. So this is pretty much think of it as a junction box where all the hydraulic lines come together. And so I did not anticipate having to go through this. This wasn't in my plans to have to go through this. But the part was $2,600. It cracked and it was just spewing. Yeah, hypocrisy. It is the hydraulic valve. But it's basically where all the lines come together. Was spewing hydraulic fluid out of it. Well, to a skid steer, hydraulic fluid is a pretty important thing. So
is that all gunky? That's not supposed to look like that, is it?
That's insulation. That's that foam insulation that's on that back wall. It's not too gunky.
I thought maybe it'd been oozing out
No.
for a while and it kind of built up and cracked.
No.
And
I mean, it's actually pretty clean. There's not a lot of oil and stuff in there, but anyway, that's what happens. Oh, yeah. Scanes Girl says, "Oh, poo, that's not good." No, I did not plan on spending it, but what do you do? I mean, it's,
no, you got to have it.
Yeah,
Gotta
Brett
have
Boy
the
says,
machine.
"Wow, pump housing, that sucks." Yeah, it sucks. And so what do you do though? I mean, it can't be without it, right?
No.
I mean, we do so many things with it. So what I planned to spend that money on was something very different, than what I spent it on. But again, what do you do, right?
And that's the thing too. Like it broke on your watch.
Yeah.
So because you lend a lot of stuff out.
I
and
do.
You always say, like, if you break it, fix it.
Yeah.
So good thing it was us that had to come up with that.
Right. Because the next person who used it was going to have this problem.
Right.
Right.
And you get stuff lent out. We have a big community that we all rely on each other. So.
Yeah. LDC said, "This is why having an emergency fund is so important." 100%. Yep. Can you find a used one in a salvage yard? Well, the model, the AVS, the ASV, the brand that I have, isn't a super common brand. There's dealers around here, but I don't know of a salvage yard where I could get that at. Maybe Gregory, but I'm just not sure. But
well, and two, you can't, like on yours, what I have found in ordering parts for that, that's why we always go to the same guy, because your machine is like a Frankenstein machine where he's like, "Oh, this is the right oil filter for that machine." And then we get it and it's not the right oil filter for that machine. And he's like, "Really?" And so then he's like, "Oh, you have a this model, but a that engine and a this something else." And I'm like,
so
dude, I don't care what you're saying.
The year of my skid steer, they put two different engines in it. They put a Perkins and what was the other one? I don't remember. Mine is the Perkins, but so you can look up the year, the make and the model, and have two completely different oil filters. And so you got to know which one you're looking at, which is what she's referring to.
Yeah.
But it pretty much sucked, but we had to do it. I have a dealer that I use. I called him in California. He shipped it over to me, got it the next day.
Yeah. Good guy.
And it's not a Briggs and Stratton. No, it's not a Briggs and Stratton, but I wanted to say it was a Detroit, but it might not be a Detroit. I don't remember what the other one is. Let's talk mouse traps. You interested?
In mouse traps?
Yeah.
What does it have to do with
You're
a
a mouse
loader?
catching machine. Nothing. I'm done with that. I just want to tell everybody my skid loader got broken.
Okay.
Now
I got mouse traps in the greenhouse. I got mouse traps in the chicken coop. I got mouse traps in the turkey coop. I got mouse traps on the back deck.
Yeah. What's your favorite mouse trap?
I like probably the bucket, because that I get to. There's like, by the time I get back around to cleaning them out, there's like a dozen mice in there already.
So she's got the bucket. Explain the bucket so they know what you're talking about.
It's just a regular bucket with the lid on top that has the flop entrance, and so you put some food on the top, and then when they go in to eat the food, they fall into the bucket, and then they can't get out of the bucket. So only if you put water in the bucket. If you don't put water in the bucket, then they can get out when it's triggered again. And I had a mouse go inside one bucket and have babies, and then the adult mouse got out and left her babies. Isn't that gross?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bucket with baby mice in it, like tiny little bald babies. And I was like, well, where'd the mother go? It got out because there was no water in it. So that's when I learned that I have to put water in them.
LJC says, "Sounds like you have a cat deficiency."
I know, but I would prefer to get a cat and maybe in the new barn have a little spot for it and a little nice little house. Yes.
That's called a sales pitch for any of you guys that don't know. Not that kind of. Karen says, "Oh yeah, I love the bucket of death." Yeah.
Yeah.
You
got to get in there and clean them out every now and again because woo, they stink.
Yeah. Now, but didn't you build a brand new custom mousetrap?
No, I've tried the metal boxes.
Didn't you build
snap ones
with electricity or something?
No. Oh. Yeah, no. That mouse tried to get into the electrical box. And he stayed there.
I walk into B's shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. He did that on his own. So I didn't put the cover on that outlet yet. But now I might not ever put the cover on the outlet because it's super handy.
Yeah, not a smart mouse.
Would that cause a fire?
Probably not. Yeah, that's why you have breakers now, and why they wire things the way they do. So
Yeah, that thing wasn't even crispy.
just
It
stripped
was
up,
just
shocked it, and
dead.
I pulled it out of there with a pair of pliers.
Yeah. Well, thank you for clearing my mousetrap.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd pick on you about the mouse.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Wasn't me that did that.
Because I thought it was funny.
It was a good thing that it one less.
Yeah, when you guys know on a farm, maybe turn that light on. I'm getting a little
dark in the front and a little bright
Yeah.
on the side.
It's a little better, huh? Yeah, chickens are the forever task. I didn't. So what you got on your list? I've been just rambling for 55 minutes.
Fine, but we've talked about a lot of the things that. So spring cleaned the chicken coop out, chicken coop out. Got all the le caca out and sprayed it down with my handy dandy bug killer. And then I was able to.
You were treating for mites, correct?
Whatever, mites, lice, anything, any little bug that crawls on the chicken.
And you want to share with these fine people what you use to treat for those things?
I use Elixir PSP.
Okay,
is what I use, and it's like a safe for the chickens. It's like a bacteria that you don't want around your water source, so you spray like underneath the wings, the back of the neck, the vent. And then let the chickens out, and then you just douse the whole inside of the building. But then I also...
And you got all of them treated?
Kind of.
Well, you either did or you didn't.
I got all the ones that I could catch. So in like opening the door here and there, like one or two might have escaped, which... when you're doing it solo, you only have two hands. You're trying to catch and spray and then release. And then, so yeah, it's easier when you have more than one person doing it. But
Farmer at Homestead said, did I hear that correctly? You were chipping poop out of the chicken coop?
No, I was just, actually, well, yeah, I had to chip some poop out of the chicken coop. Chip and poop. Yeah. Yeah, some I did.
Yeah.
And then I went and took the mint that is growing and the garlic that is growing, and I broke it off and put it in the nesting boxes so that it will deter bugs from there also. But then I got to put the turkeys and chickens that I had in the brooder in the mudroom into the coop.
Yep.
So I'm got 23 chicks and 9 turkeys moved, little ones, and into the baby side, which then forced me to put the Sussex that were in the baby side into the adult side. So we got to rotate, play, ring around the chicken coop.
Yeah, I think rotate's the right answer. You just rotated the ones that were in the baby pen into the adult pen and put the ones that were in the brooder in the baby pen, and then put the fresh hatch ones into the brooder.
Yes.
Right? You did the rotation.
I did the rotation. I had 31 turkey eggs in 3 different batches that I found, and I had them in the incubator. The first 10, all 10 hatched, 1 died. So that's where the 9 came from that I just moved into the chicken house. And no, they're not going to stay in the chicken house. We have a turkey house, but they're too small for that right now. And I need an outside run for them. But anyway, then the others did not hatch. And I am on I'm almost 6 days past.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're not going to hatch. I take that back. So I also had 7 more of that batch of the 31 hatched. 3 of them died. 4 of them lived. 3 of them I helped them out because I thought that they needed my help. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I did it anyway. And they were sprout-legged. One of them was just flat in the brooder. And then the other 2 were very much sprout-legged. So they didn't make it. So I have 4 more babies that just hatched.
Turkeys.
turkey babies.
Yeah.
And then I just found 10 more eggs in the yard. So I'm like, yes. I brought them in and started a whole nother session because we can't get turkeys from the stores, and well, we couldn't get them from Meyer Hatchery.
Brett says we have a tick problem. What are you guys using? We're using guineas
And chickens and
turkeys and everybody that eats them. Yeah, we just have birds. We don't treat or spray anything for that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Gregory says, can you candle turkey eggs?
Yes.
Yeah,
and I did candle them like 4 days ago, and they looked like they were still alive in there. So that's why I left them longer than what I should or than required.
Yeah.
The thing is though, when you find them in the yard, I'm not sure when they started to incubate. So like right now I have a female turkey that keeps coming up missing, but then she comes back in the daytime to eat.
So she's got eggs somewhere.
Such a freeloader.
Yeah.
So,
you just let her have them and just see what happens.
Well, I can't find them. I've looked everywhere.
Yeah,
so
she's smarter than you are.
She is right now.
By the way, Squatchy has joined us. What's up, Squatchy? And Terminator said, which I found interesting, I have a tom turkey sitting on eggs instead of the hen.
I didn't know they would do that.
I didn't either. No idea.
I got a rash on my arm from pulling all the mint or the oregano or not oregano, garlic. And so it's like super, super itchy.
Yeah, Terminator had a piglet die this week that was a runt. Crazy. All right, what else you got on there?
I hate that when that happens. Move the turkeys.
Well, she's looking, you guys. So you guys know on June the 5th, I'm doing a live with Homesteading Family. So if you guys aren't aware of that channel, that's a big channel. If you go over there and subscribe, if you want to get notified of it. But we're doing a pantry talk on their channel June the 5th.
Yeah, that's where I first learned to candle or to water glass eggs was from Carolyn.
Yeah.
From the channel.
Yeah. Yeah, so super cool.
Yeah.
Did you find anything else on there?
Yep, nope, go ahead.
Keep on trucking. Let me see here. Have to look close. Maybe that Tom likes to chest feed.
Good grief.
I could make a ton of jokes there.
Good grief.
Yeah, maybe that Tom identifies as Tina Turkey. Just might. Just might. All right, what do we got in the news, huh? We cover everything for the homestead for the week or the last little bit?
Yeah, everything that I wrote down.
Yeah, so this was super interesting, or at least I thought it was interesting. So apparently the vaccine companies, Pfizer specifically, had a different set of vaccines for their employees.
You got to be kidding.
No, this was leaked this week. And you can see it was the email was on January 11th of 2001. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but basically the circled yellow, what it basically says is that they were notifying their employees that the vaccine that they had for them would be different. Pfizer whistleblower has raised an alarm that Pfizer workers were offered a separate and distinct COVID vaccine. I'm pleased to inform you that we will begin offering COVID-19 vaccinations to eligible on-site essential colleagues and contractors over the next few weeks. Eligible on-site essential contractors will be notified either by email or by their Pfizer sponsor and will receive instructions for registering for an on-site appointment as well. The vaccine doses to be used for this program are separate and distinct from those committed by Pfizer to governments around the world and will not impact supply to national governments in any way, reads the leaked email. What do you think about that? Oh, look at that. Kelly says, I learned water glass bathing. I learned water glassing from her as well. Oh, yeah. Karen, not Karen, says the same thing. Pretty cool. Homesteading Family is a great channel. I've learned lots there. Yeah, super cool. Well, there you go. There's the link to their channel right there. So I'll be on there on the 5th of June. So if you guys, any of you guys who aren't subscribed, go over there and make sure you tell them Tag sent you. Control group. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details. Again, it was a leaked email that popped out saying that it was different.
Well, their rules are never the same as ours,
that's
so
right.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, Unique Prepping looks like is going to go live in 25 minutes. Okay, what's the next slide? So this was actually pretty interesting too. Did you guys know, and this also just broke, or came out this week, that the actual bonus structure for getting people vaccinated through Blue Cross and Blue Shield and some of the other ones. So Blue Cross and Blue Shield pays your doctor a $40,000 bonus for fully vaccinating 100 patients under the age of 2. If your doctor manages to fully vaccinate 200 patients, it jumps to $80,000. But there's a catch. Under the Blue Cross and Blue Shield rules, pediatricians lose the whole bonus unless at least 63% of their patients are fully vaccinated. This includes the flu vaccine. So it's not just $400 on your child's head. It could be the whole bonus. And if you look, I actually copied. I don't know how many of you guys are looking. Well, if you're looking on your phone, you'll never see this. But these are actually how they're bonused by getting people to become vaccinated. And I pulled Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Anthems. And this is actually their bonus schedule. The Hilltop says a different vaccine and probably not mandated. Probably. Yep, poison is poison. Well, I just think it's crazy that they get away with this stuff. I mean, what do they expect that it's going to be if you've got an $80,000 bonus hanging over the head of a doctor if he can maintain a 63% vaccination rate amongst his patients? And then you wonder why they're pushy.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see here. Bubba's friend's husband is a bioengineer doctor. When the big C first came out, he said not to get any of those vaccines because none of them work on engineered viruses. Oh, ouch. They forced my wife as a nurse to take it or lose her job. G. John says it's for the benefit of the children. Yeah, they do like to say that, don't they? AstraZeneca, which is one of the COVID, one of them that make the vaccine, the authorization for AstraZeneca's COVID injection is now being withdrawn from the European Union. And this comes as they admit in court that the product can cause blood clots. And you guys remember Chris Cuomo, right? Chris Cuomo said, I am taking a regular dose of ivermectin now. We were given bad information early on. But if you guys remember back in 2020, COVID was on CNN, and he said that people who were promoting ivermectin needed to be shamed.
He did?
He did. And now he's come out and said
he's taking
it every single day because the doctors are telling him, well, I'll just read it. During the COVID pandemic, Chris Cuomo was well known for his strict adherence to the media narrative surrounding COVID and the ensuing vaccine, sometimes to the point of him publicly disparaging others for not doing the same. However, it appears he's had a change of heart. So he got, his doctor says he has long COVID. And so now he's taking ivermectin every single day, which I think is crazy. Furthermore, Japan's most senior cancer expert is now sounding the alarm on the mRNA injections. Doctors are suddenly seeing turbo cancers that were unheard of before. And this is coming from a senior doctor in Japan. The Slovakian government is saying no to the World Health Organization. You know, they've been trying to push, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but they've been trying to push a pandemic treaty on every country in the world that says in the case of a pandemic, the World Health Organization is going to take over and mandate everything. So what that really means is you're giving up your sovereignty, right? But so Slovakia has said no. And then also Great Britain. I don't praise Britain very much because they're a very messed up country, but they're now coming out and saying we're not going to sign the pandemic treaty either because it gives up, again, some of that sovereignty. See, Hippocrates says, why are they even keeping track of the percentage of patients vaccinated? Part of why I don't like the health databases. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. There's a lot of backpedaling on the jab now. Deborah Bricks is even admitting there are side effects, but they say they are just minimal and don't affect many. Yeah. Oh, yes. And don't forget that the Slovakian president did just get murdered.
Yeah.
And I found this interesting because I had pulled this article last week when I had just read it. And then the Slovakian president was assassinated attempt. Right now, I didn't hear, Jules, have you heard? Because Jules says down here that it was an assassination attempt, not murdered. How was he was in critical condition, was last that I'd heard, but I had not heard. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't know if he had, he survived. Once that closer says he survived. Okay.
So it's an attempt.
They forced my husband and I to take the first two, or he wouldn't be able to have his surgery for his cancer. Isn't that just crazy? Just absolutely crazy. Let's see here. Hey, Hardway, Alaska. How are you? Welcome back. So did you hear Google is coming out with an AI that will listen to your calls and make sure you're not being scammed? Yes. I think the whole AI thing is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And I don't think we fully understand. the implications from it. But yeah, I'm a little worried about all of that. I'm trying to really push AI and smart technologies out of my house, but all I really have is the phone, but I don't know how to get around that. Right. Let me see here. Bonnie says he's critical but unstable. Yeah. Hey, Tim Riley says, evening all. You see they're using the mRNA tech to make cancer vaccines straight out of I Am Legend with Will Smith. Oh, I never thought about that, Tim. That's what they did in that movie, I Am Legend. Predictive. He went through several hours of surgery today, was awake and beginning recovery. Yeah, what an absolute mess, right? What else? Here's another leaked thing. So here's an email. I don't know how well you guys can read this or not, but this is from the World Health Organization. I'm sorry, the World Economic Forum to one of the countries. And oh man, it's a lot harder to read when it gets up here. Yeah. So basically what it's saying to, let me see if I can find the name of it here real quick. I don't know if you guys can read this or not. I just can't read this. This is too bad too. Basically what it was a letter talking about the Great Reset and the meeting that they're having, and they really want all the countries to join. And this was just an email to him, but I'm going to skip this one because it's blurry. It would look fine when I did it, but I don't have it to read. So anyway, we'll get on with it. Breaking: Target has announced it will stop selling its Pride collection in most of its stores after a huge backlash over the LGBTQ themed merchandise, including bathing suits designed for transgender people, as it harmed sales. No kidding. And this surprises who? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Jaron Jackson said, and I only put this in here because I just thought this was just said so well. He said, there's no such thing as blue states or red states. All of them have state constitutions that secure your rights. No government in any of these states can violate those rights. The color scheme is a subtle tactic that shifts understanding away from the law and to the belief that your rights are dependent upon who's elected. That's why politics is such a focus. People have been trained to believe their rights can be messed with. Blue and red is just the color of that deception. We always talk about it's the uniparty. Yeah. Right. And it's, the Republicrats. And I think that was super, super important the way he said that, because, those of you who are convinced that you can vote Republican out of this mess, I'm sorry, but you can't. If you think you can vote Democrat out of this mess, I'm sorry that you can't. It's not about that. It's about something much, much bigger. Now, I do agree that I'd much rather have a Trump than a Biden, but I still don't think you're going to fix it. American Root says Target is owned by George Soros. And he owns a lot of stuff, don't he? Let's see what else we got here. How about this one? So Willow Springs Police Department. This one, actually, I got this one from King Juicy Gypsy Hefty Lefty himself sent me this. So the Willow Springs Police Department shuts down phone lines after hundreds of calls from the First Amendment group. Willow Springs, Missouri. If you've been trying, and this is from them, if you've been trying to call the Willow Springs Police Department, you probably cannot get through. The department shut off its phone lines after hundreds of phone calls from a First Amendment group. James Fish of Willow Springs says the video he shot shows what happened between him and the police department Saturday at a town event. I got ran off the car show because someone didn't like the fact that they asked me while I was wearing a press vest. I told him, and it's because we are all the press. It's our freedom of speech and our freedom of the press. It's our First Amendment right. So here's a guy who, Leather Homestead. How you doing? Good to see you, bud. So here was a guy who was wearing a vest that said press on it, and they kicked him out of the gun show because it said press, because he couldn't produce credentials that it was press. And he said, we're all the press, and we're guaranteed that by our First Amendment. And they escorted him out. The next thing you know, a whole bunch of people are calling, and they had to shut the phones down. So why do I even bring this up? Well, I bring this up because hundreds of phone calls made them make change. Yeah. Right. So
they shut the phone lines down. That was the change.
Well, but they took it seriously.
They didn't let him stay.
No, and he probably could fight it, and they're probably going to file a lawsuit and blah, blah, blah. But it did cause them to take action, at least in my opinion, again, and for what, right? We got any people from Canada in the audience tonight? Here's some other interesting stuff. What else we got? So Warren Buffett is selling stocks like Apple as he sees trouble ahead, but he'll spend if markets crash, is what he's saying. So this is really interesting. I did some studying up on Berkshire Hathaway. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but his annual shareholder meeting that happens in Omaha, which is this big deal, happened, just a couple of weeks ago, and they're sitting on $1.8 billion in cash. They always talk about follow the money. And he said it's just because there's nothing to buy. These are his words. And you can watch Berkshire Hathaway over the last 5 or 6 years go from, $50 billion in cash on the sidelines to now $180 billion in cash on the sidelines, because in his words, everything, is overpriced. Let me see here. Leather says, blue red does not say how the law was enforced. That's correct. More reason not to shop at Target. Yeah. Buy low, sell high. You all see silver broke $30 today with gold over 2,400. Yeah, I think we're due for a big correction, though. I'm pretty nervous in the market.
What do you mean a correction?
I think the market's all very overpriced.
Okay.
And, like the stock with the Dow broke 40,000 for the first time in history.
Yeah.
But I think it's super overpriced. And I think people who are jumping in now are going to get their butts kicked.
Oof. Thinking that they're going to make some money in the future. And then
Yeah. A lot of people are sitting on cash with the turmoil coming. There will be deals to be made. Yep. Here's one that will make you guys happy. I'm finally getting to the good news, right? So did you guys know that House Democrats just voted unanimously to give illegals representation in Congress and the Electoral College? House seats and Electoral College votes will be added to areas with the most illegals, including, obviously, any of the Biden illegals, unless the Senate passes something to stop it, basically. So the House unanimously passed a bill to give legal voting rights to illegal immigrants. Crazy. Okay, so now the real good news for you Canadians. Did you guys see that Canada created a law that could imprison anyone who has ever posted hate speech? So the Trudeau regime has introduced the Orwellian new law called Online Harms Bill C-63, which will give police power to retroactively search the internet. So what was that movie, The Minority Report? They went,
before they got in trouble, that he would go out and.
Well, so think about this. So let's say that in 2020, it wasn't illegal to say Mexican.
Right.
But in 2024, they outlawed where you could say it.
Yeah.
Then they could go with this law. They could go back to that date when it was legal and prosecute you for the current crime. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, they did it. You see here, maybe Warren should buy another railroad. Let me see here. Man, Canada 1984 was a warning shot, not an instruction manual. I can't even believe that. Get the hell out of Canada. Thousands of businesses were warned that there are risks of closing, and the IRS responds by saying that taxpayers, the IRS warns taxpayers of potential jail time for filling out false returns and high refunds. There's a reason why they hired all those ones, right? And then Americans are dropping their home prices as buyers begin to lose interest. Aren't those great headlines?
No. Well, I mean, the prices of homes should go back down to what they were.
I'm now hearing that they will monitoring your text. Oh, they've been recording your text for years, Brett, years. Every single thing goes on your cell phone's recorded. Now, I'm not suggesting that they are looking at it, but they're recording it for future use.
So that they can go back to when it was legal and they can get you for it.
Yeah. Jules says Canada is trying to give suicide service to a man that can't afford to pay his bills in a horrible economy.
And so they're going to allow him to kill himself?
Yeah. I mean, let's just put him out of his misery, right? Yeah. SOE Tactical has a great shirt. Less 1984 and more 1776. Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that just absolutely crazy? Just our world is just a mess. But I do have some really good news on the economic front. You guys want some good news from the economic front?
Something's going down?
Yeah. This is good news. So I want you to pay attention. This is important. Okay?
I try to pay attention.
Pay attention right here. This is an important story. You ready?
Some of it.
I'm going to ask you some hard questions at the end. I'm going to.
Don't.
I am.
Don't.
Because I love you. Sales rose 3.8% at a U.S. Walmart stores open at least a year for the quarter ended April 26th, higher than what Wall Street was anticipating. With inflation easing and the average ticket was flat, but the number of transactions rose by 3.8% for a year ago. E-commerce was a big driver, jumping 22% during the same period, as well as upper income households that the retailer said drove the bulk of its gains. We are seeing customers trade into Walmart, he said, of higher income households who were the largest cohort behind the share gains in nearly every category. We've historically been thought of as value, but now it's value, quality, and convenience. So this is super interesting. Do you find anything interesting about what they said right there? It's a total spin, but there's a very important part in here. Okay, but I'll wait. Let's keep reading. The grocery business has been fueling Walmart's growth, though general merchandise was lagged. Consumer sentiment dropped, and Target Corp dropped, and anyway. But the higher income consumers trade down or search for deals. Walmart is benefiting from the decision to roll out more discounts and new products and revamp stores. Lower income consumers are buying in similar patterns at Walmart, Rainey said, purchasing more groceries and other necessities than general merchandise. Okay. But at the exact same time, earlier this week, Walmart announced plans to shutter their smaller offices and lay off hundreds of employees who are still working from home or who can't move to bigger office hubs. Walmart, and this is another totally separate headline, Walmart lays off hundreds of employees and requires others to relocate. Mm-hmm. So if business is up, why are they laying people off?
Were they saying that business was up? They were saying that people are buying more groceries and less.
Well, I mean, it says right here, sales rose 3.8% at U.S. Walmart stores. There's something really interesting in this article that stood out to me, and Mossy Oak Parrot's got it perfect. Rich people are now shopping at Walmart. So what that means is, right, is that the people who would normally shop at Whole Foods, right, that this is what's driving the increase in revenue at Walmart.
Ouch.
So what does that tell you about the overall scope? And I find it super fascinating that Walmart spun this. And they said, we are historically been thought of for value, but now it's value, quality, and convenience.
Yeah. Well, doesn't Amazon owns Whole Food now, right?
I don't know.
So they probably figure if they're going to get Walmart food at Whole Foods, they might as well just get Walmart food at Walmart. Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's the higher income households dropping their standards and now shopping at Walmart instead of the high-end stores. That's exactly right. You know, they spun it in a whole nother direction, right? But this is exactly what it's saying. Pockety says, so people of Walmart will start having better dressed people?
Probably not.
I noticed Walmart is selling canned goods made in China. Oh, yeah, let's buy that. Yeah, no thanks.
So I think when people go to Walmart, they really don't care what they look like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I would argue that it has to be that because, hold on, let's get this comment.
But a lot of those Walmarts are redoing their whole stores. Mm-hmm. Ours just got a whole new makeover.
Mm-hmm. Rich will go to Wally World for groceries, but it's only temporary as they move away from Walmart because what would people think if I shopped there?
Yeah, that's why they wear their garden clothes in or their pajamas.
It's not, I thought originally when I read it that maybe it was just their sales are up because people are adding more debt. So I thought I would just pull some slides for you guys to see what it is. So this is credit card utilization. And if you look, the bottom blue line in that graph is people who utilize between 0 and 20% of their credit. The red line represents people who utilize between 20 and 60% of their credit card limits. The yellow line is people who use between 60 and 90% of their credit. And the blue line is people who are maxed, 90 to 100% of their credit card limits.
Okay? That's the one that went up the highest.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Right? So what went from about 20%, you're up to maybe 35%. So 35% of people with credit cards are maxed. That's 1 in 3. Right? Ooh. And then you have another 15% who have between 60 and 90%. So there's 45%. So at least 45% of the population is maxed out to a level at least 45 of at least 60%. Yeah. No tag. It's the illegals with the $2,000 cards from most U.S. taxpayers. Might be. Might be. If you see creator ads that spin on their ads too much, must be directly from corporate. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Just absolutely crazy. If you read the article over here, and it talks about how about halfway down, Let me see. Less than 20% of the available credit for scoreable. 18% of borrowers were using at least 90% of their available credit. 19% were between 20 and 60% utilization. I mean, so that's the majority, right? Finally, debtors are winning at something. Only Mo.
That's too bad, though.
Only Mo.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we are seeing it in the consumer lending company I work for. People are pulling back on spending. The official economic numbers are a joke. Yes, they are. And they're not going to give you the truth until it is too late, right? But it's so crazy to me that the very people who have done this with debt, right? So here's the total outstanding debt of the federal government, right? 1800, 1850, 1900, 1950. Look at that. These are the people that are giving you a credit score, everybody, just so you know, right? So I think the moral of the story is the federal government is completely in debt. As you can see illustrated here, the consumer is completely in debt, right? They're running to a point where you kind of can't do a whole lot, which would signal lower earnings typically at Walmart, right? Except that the upper middle class is now, kind of lowering, which what that tells me is the wage gap or the social gap between the haves and the have-nots is growing, right? People don't understand that the farm bill is new welfare, not to help farmers. I would think we should get rid of all subsidies of all kind. I'm not a fan of any of them. Absolutely any of them. Let's see here. Our score is based off how we pay loans back, where their credit is determined by how corrupt they are. Well, and it's arbitrary, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they get to pick and choose along the way, and they get to pick and choose for us along the way. You can ask me. I have to go borrow something every now and again because I get myself in a problem where I don't borrow anything, and then 4 or 5 years later, my credit score starts crashing because I don't owe anybody anything. So we're like, oh, well, it's the time to buy a truck or it's the time to do something. But it's just absolutely crazy to me. It's crazy to me that we're even here. And then what do you do about it, right?
We yoke up.
Right.
We try to do it ourselves.
Administration has been driving down maximum allowed credit card rates, but are working towards allowing a second mortgage to be retroactive to your first mortgage rate to keep money flowing. Now, John, this is actually a super important comment. And I know most of you folks know this, but our system is built on infinite growth. So if the growth stops, it's like a big pyramid, right? If the growth stops, it all comes crashing down. And so it's critical, absolutely critical that we keep spending. This is why I tell you guys money is the land of make-believe. It's not about the money. It's about getting you to go buy something. It's about keeping money moving through the system. I get paid for my job. They take about half of it. I go spend it at the mall, wherever. They do the same thing over and over again. It's not about money. Money isn't real. It's about keeping the flow. It's keeping goods moving between one place or the other. The tire store is doing business with a plumbing store. Because if they lose that, right, if we lose that infinite growth, the game is completely up. Mississippi Homestead Journey said, I tapped my 401k to eliminate debt. Now I only have my monthly bills. Congratulations. If you're around me, I give you a free man hat. I'm looking into homesteading grants so that I can work on developing my property. I got some good resources from Toolman Tim. He's got a lot of resources. Yeah, see here. I bought a new side-by-side, did the 0 interest for 6 months, paid a minimum of 2 months, then paid it off. When I paid it off, my score dropped 100 points. Yep.
Yeah. We've seen that.
Yep. Cheryl Seller says credit is only to keep you in debt. That's 100% correct. I bought lots of stuff today. Citywide rummage sales. Yeah, we had them pretty quick.
I don't know if that counts though, right? Because you're giving a person cash.
Yeah, no, she's just saying that she scored today by going to the garage sales. Yeah. So thankful and glad I got rid of credit cards in 2007. Retired now with no debt. Bonnie, you need a free man hat too. Yeah, Dana says the velocity of money. Correct. And that is all it is, guys. I'm telling you, money is the land of make-believe. It is not real. It's there to just keep things moving. And when they get the digital currency figured out, that's even better. Because then even the garage sales,
that's just crap.
Yeah. I mean, Karen, who went to the garage sale here shortly, won't be able to do that with cash. You'll be doing it with a chip on your phone or whatever it is. And then then that velocity of money gets entered back into the system too. Right.
Yeah.
which is what they're hoping for.
Which is why, again, yoking up and being able to give me your milk and I'll give you some beef. You give, doing commerce that way. If we can do that, that would help. We need that system. We need the wide system so we can get avocados in Kansas.
Yep. Heard someone say that giving illegals their cash card is being done to keep the economy flowing. They come in, spend it immediately, whereas Americans are cutting back and spending. Yeah, I've heard a lot of different theories about why this is going on from the legal perspective. And I know they're giving them cards and they're putting them up in hotels. And again, all that stuff, helps with the, certainly helps with the economy. You see here, One Step Closer says credit scores don't measure how healthy you are financially, just your ability to carry debt. Yeah. Did you know for my entire marriage, B has had a higher credit score than me? And I don't know why. It makes no sense to me. That's true.
Because I'm a stay-at-home wife.
It just makes no sense to me. Not by much. It's, 15 points or whatever it is, but she's always had better credit than me. And
because I pay the bills.
You pay my bills too and your bills too.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
On time.
Mine get paid on time just like yours get paid on time.
Yeah, they do. I was just teasing.
Yeah. Much of the USDA goes to food programs, not to farmers and ranchers. Yeah, and most of the aid money going to the Ukraine don't go to the Ukraine. It goes back to the military-industrial complex.
It's laundering. It's laundry.
Yeah. Mo Engineer says credit scores and I love debt score. If the economy is dependent on new money coming in, isn't that a Ponzi scheme? It's 100% a Ponzi scheme. Tulip Little Angel, by the way, welcome. It's 100% a Ponzi scheme. And guys, it's meeting its end. They can only kick it down so far. People can only carry so much debt. I mean, there comes a point in time, just like the American consumer, you're looking out in the street, 4 out of 10 people, what you see walking around are utilizing at least 60% of their credit card capacity. 60%, 4 of 10. How long can that continue, right? Before it has, a big impact. How did the Freedom Farm Academy property consult go with food forest abundance? Yeah, Tim, we talked about this earlier in the live showed a bunch of maps and all that stuff. We're just trying to figure out, kind of what we're working on. And I got a huge email yesterday with
to-do list,
900 items on it to do for me to go work on. So it's coming good. And I'll update you guys as the plans come, and I will show the complete plans once they get them all finished. But I did get to spend a whole bunch of time with them one-on-one on our property. So it was a lot of fun. Let me see here. Stay-at-home wife. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, she got the most important job in the world, and maybe that's why they give her a better score. I don't know. But I don't know. Lazy Loper has a way better score than I. Yeah, and I don't get it. And there's nothing wrong with it. And it's not
like we use it. It's just
it's
just a fact of how it is.
Me and B agreed years ago that she was going to stay home. She was going to garden. She was going to take care of the requirements here. I would go to work. I would bring money in. She would manage the home, and that's just the way it would be. And I love the deal. Do you still love the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. But why is it that, again, not derogative, but she has no income? How can she have more, credit buying power than I do? It just doesn't make any sense to me, but I clearly don't get it. Hey, Jammer WV, how are you? Says, hey, Tag and B, glad to catch you. I'm glad you're here. I don't even bother looking at my credit score anymore. It doesn't mean what it used to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you are too.
Yeah, I don't care. I routinely use 2 to 3% of my credit limit. The system of allowing 4 payments, et cetera, or whatever you buy is meant to keep the sales figures afloat. They know people have money. Well, and they count that money twice or 3 times or 4 times in this particular case too, right? Just like a bank does, which keeps it roaring too. You go in for the, buy now, pay later, which Walmart does, and a lot of them, which, by the way, they consider that phantom debt, which they don't count phantom debt and everything. But if they go buy something for $100 and agree to make 4 $25 payments, they count all $100 at the time of the sale. And then they count each $25 payment that they make. Because again, it gives the illusion, right? It's kind of like the movie It's a Wonderful Life when they pass the dollar through the town. Can't wait to see my credit score go to 0. I pay cash or don't buy. So what do you think about the Dodd-Frank Act? I think it's a joke. Jammer, we should do a whole video on the Dodd-Frank Act. But Jim, the older I get, the more I think about we need less and less and less regulation. We don't need more. We need smaller and smaller and smaller government. So I'm not a fan of most of them, but definitely not Dodd-Frank. I figured out in the late 90s when I started my business, they wanted us in at least 30% debt. I tried both ways and no thanks. I remember how angry I got when buying my first house and the bank told me that shopping around for a better rate lowered my score. What a farce. Yeah. Yeah. What's that tell you? Yeah. Right. What's that tell you? They want you to do business in a particular spot. Right. Yeah. I also self-insured, done with insurance. Yeah. That's a good idea. If you can swing that big a stick to where you can do that, that is fabulous. I would encourage you to keep doing that. Right. If you can, that's a big deal. I don't know how
big stick. That's a big stick to swing.
It's a big stick. Well, yeah, because if you can self-insure everything.
Well, yeah.
You know, I have both my boys are in insurance, and they're always harassing me because I don't carry enough insurance. But I always tell them I don't want to be insurance poor. You know, if I can go out and buy it, you know, like my skid steer, I don't insure my skid steer because if something happened, I could go buy another one. I do insure my house because that would be a much harder gig. But yeah. Credit score algorithm is simple. You can have 10 plus cards, use $2 card, pay off on time. Over time, you get a perfect credit score. I don't have the energy for that. I ain't tracking that. I'm not interested in that.
You use it, you got to remember to pay it. You got to remember to pay it on time.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just not that proud of a credit score anymore.
Right.
I don't really care about it all that much. I used to. It used to be a big deal.
Well, that was like when I got to be 18, that was the big deal. And we told the boys that too when they got of age. We're like, okay, you got to build your credit. You got to go get a credit card. Use it, pay it off. Use it, pay it off. Mm-hmm. And now our advice might be different.
Yeah. Yeah. And that worked well for them. You know, they're both young. They both own their own home. My oldest son has 2 homes now.
Yep.
And so they've used their credit to their advantage, but I'm nowhere near as excited about it as I used to be.
Right.
But you want to hear another funny story?
Is it funny? Is it like a comedian funny? Or
yeah,
is it like a...
No, it's funny. I think it's funny. What do you think? So, poor man's nuke. We can kill 10,000 people for $1.43 per life. Weaponized ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes. A conversation with CIA Black Ops agents who dropped ticks on enemies in Operation Mongoose. It wasn't just Lyme disease that was making people sick. It was also rickettsia, a bacteria found in ticks, lice, fleas, mites, chiggers, and mammals. Rickettsia was a germ that was weaponized by the U.S. military. They'd stuff fleas with the plague. They would stuff mosquitoes with the triad virus. They would stuff ticks with deadly or incapacitating diseases like relapsing fever and rabies, etc. The intent is this is the perfect stealth weapon. It's a poor man's nuke. You drop these insects on an enemy, it weakens the population, it ties up the medical resources, but doesn't destroy the infrastructure like a nuclear bomb would. And so when I read this article, this was Tucker Carlson just the other day, when I read this, I started looking in, and there's all kinds of stuff out there. U.S. Congress passes bill to investigate whether the Pentagon weaponized ticks and other insects for biowarfare. Pentagon may have released weaponized ticks that help spread Lyme disease. So it's now coming out that Lyme disease is man-made, apparently, and it comes from them weaponizing those kind of things.
Yeah, they're probably coming from the chemtrails.
Who knows?
Spread it all over.
Who knows?
Drop some ticks, weaponized ticks.
Yeah.
Get everybody sick.
Who knows? That's the problem with everything that's going on today. I can't tell you what's true and what's false.
Wasn't there a big thing about Tamiflu coming out now?
I've heard some negative stuff about Tamiflu.
About a new pandemic or something. Don't use it. Don't use it. Get it out of your med kits.
Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, like the virus from China. Yep. Mm-hmm. SP, the parasites, weaponized parasites.
No, the virus came from bats, right?
Yeah. It just happened to be in Wuhan, China, which is by the Wuhan lab, when they were doing studies in Wuhan lab on coronavirus. So stupid. Yeah. I've gotten to a point where the medical crap, if they just put debt on me, I have 0 credit. So F you, I will pay you $1 a month. This I agree with. Yeah, Kelly Ireland said I was just diagnosed. My nephew was just diagnosed with Lyme disease. Mm. Well, that would take time, but a horrible idea. Yeah, so sad. What was the problem with Tamiflu? Oh, there was an article And actually some local resources, silver lining, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Also,
all right. I thought she got it on her. Isn't she on there?
I don't know.
She should be on there. She should have gotten it.
Yeah, you may want to look at your phone because
from Bullet.
Yeah, because you would have already gotten it, silver lining.
Yeah.
And you can read what we're talking about. Let me see here. COVID and the resulting sauce were all Department of Defense biowarfare op against the population. I know I still have the information somewhere. There's a whole book written about Lyme. Yeah. I just can't believe people are out there who play God, you know? I don't know.
Well, the government's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, but
they've been doing all kinds of.
Yeah. This is just proof we need each other more and more and more. Right?
Yes. I am grateful for our community. I'm grateful for my Cali water. I'm grateful for the food that we get to grow, the people we get to interact with. I can't wait until we can, like I said, get avocados. We can get that community to grow wider, farther, and longer apart than we can get things from other people. We can give them things that we grow in abundance of, and we can get from them. That's the goal.
What was the problem with penicillin? I don't know. I must have missed something, Brett. Lyme disease is treatable, but only with experimental drugs. I can't wait to build my shower. Yeah. Yeah. Very soon for you, American Roots. Very soon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
All right, baby.
Start with some footers and
just
build up.
Yep. Just keep doing it, right?
Yep.
So what's coming up for us?
Couple nails, couple boards.
So what's coming up for you?
Garden. It's like garden time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then on rainy days, pod 4.
Okay.
Texturing the ceilings and caulking.
Mm-hmm.
You fix that leak. We had a leak in pod 4. You fix it. So then you get to start tiling again.
Yep.
And then I'll be up to grouting. So
Joel says I need some Cali water. That's amazing stuff. That's that's Kangen water.
I was so grateful. She had she brought her machine because she had came and stayed for a couple of days, and she brought her machine. She like tented outside or hammocked. She brought her machine and hooked it up to my kitchen sink. They had the appropriate adapters, and so I got to see it firsthand. Kangen water.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see it firsthand. She made me some hypochloric acid to spray on wounds or to treat things with. I can't wait. Tag has a new shirt here. He's got a little oil stain on it. I could put that hypochloric acid on it and get the oil to dissipate on it. I've got some weeds in the gravel up here. I'm going to put some of the 11.5 water on it and the 2.5 water on it and see if either of the weeds go away from that. If I could. So anyway, she left me with some jars of different pH levels of water. So right now I'm drinking 8.5.
Let me have some of that.
And she left me 5 gallons of it. It stays, it is structured water. So it stays like that for 3 days. Come on, man. I only got 5 gallons of that.
I was thirsty.
But on her machine, she has the like standard house machine. And so there's like different settings for like cleaning baby bottles or boiling noodles, or a beauty setting for like toning your skin, and one's for cleaning and one's for cooking and one's for drinking. And
you like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into too much details, but
are you working on your pitch?
It's no, I'm just
you've been very expensive this year.
I didn't get the overhangs on the barn. I DC'd that times 2.
Mm-hmm. So you forgot about the tractor.
No, I like the tractor, but I mean, you've put more hours on it than I have.
Mm-hmm.
When the skid loader went down, you were able to use it to move some dirt or move mud around. So, the crazy thing is too, when you lend out your skid loader and you say, don't bring the tracks back muddy, my tires are crappy muddy. I'm like, bro, what's up with that?
Oh my gosh.
You're going to dirty my tires?
All right. Well, will somebody share with
and then lose my key?
Well, yeah. Are your keys lost?
I found them.
Where'd you find them?
In your laundry.
Okay, so I put her keys in my pants pocket. She found them in the laundry. They weren't never lost.
They were lost. They were lost for a week.
Yeah, maybe if you did laundry more often, you'd found them sooner.
I'm not doing laundry more often.
So
I have to wait for sunny days.
Okay. Well, one of you smart people out there, explain to my wife the difference between having mud on tires and having mud in tracks. Because apparently she thinks this is the same thing.
The funny thing is you're always like, clean it out. Don't leave it dirty, and break it, you fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Break it, you fix it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here I'm like, now my tires are muddy, my keys are lost.
Yeah. There you go, silver lining. Thank you so very much. It's a tractor used for dirt work.
I was told that dirt work is to be used for the skid loader. The tractor's for
what?
Moving hay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. American Roots said, or you could do the Walpini. You want the Kangen water thing or you want the Walpini?
This year?
Period. Not this year.
Period.
You're not getting either of them this year.
Come on now. Christmas is coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so's our anniversary.
Oh yeah, our anniversary's coming.
Uh-huh. But you got
that'll be like 19 years.
Yeah, you got the tractor at a barn. That should take care of me for the next 10 years.
We get the tractor in the barn.
Except she got mad at me because the tires got dirty. So,
but you dirtied them. You used it.
Yeah, easier to change tires than tracks. Yeah, that's correct. And also that mud builds up inside that track and it can throw a track when it's never going to do that to a tire.
It's never going to throw a tire. Never going to ruin a tire.
Nope.
Makes it look ugly. I can't see my red wheels anymore.
Yeah, well, you could tell why we bought a tractor, apparently, huh?
To park it out front and make it look pretty.
Yep.
It classes the place
Could you work your group purchase magic on some Kangen systems? Oh, my goodness. No, because that means I end up with one.
Would that be the worst thing? Like, better your health.
Gosh.
Make your skin all nice and smooth.
You can't hang out with LJC or Lou.
We get cows and clean water.
Yeah, where's the guides also? Jammer, thank you, correct. Oh, that would be great, LJC. Oh, my goodness.
See, Skane's girl probably tasted that water when she was out there. And that was like hose water from a public park. Mm-hmm. And it was delicious.
Yeah, Kangen systems, is that like Tag's Tupperware? No, it has nothing to do with Tag. Brett Boyd says, B, show me your nails.
These ones are long. These ones broke. I'm right-handed.
Yeah. One Step Closer says, I thought you were getting a barrel of honey.
Nope. I got several 5-gallon buckets, though.
Yeah, mud on tracks in the winter, it would freeze and you wouldn't be able to move. Yeah, Hilltop says, I concur with your desire to meet others. It's not in the cards for me either. That's why I love these lives. Human interaction. So many good people. I did, and I have wanted one for a very long time.
For what?
Why do I feel like this is going to go poorly for me? She's talking about Kangen water system.
You had one?
No, she said she's wanted one for a long time.
Oh, she did try the water, and she's wanted one for a long time.
Yeah. Bees filled up everything she had and had been
Before
drinking
they left, I was like, here, fill all these jars up. Can you fill up this 5-gallon jug? Can you? Yeah.
Oh, they don't look like the tracks. They clean. How about your hands?
Well, yeah, because Tag's not using them to move mud.
If I thought I could get away with it.
I bet.
Yeah, what'd you think about pouring concrete today? Were you tired?
I was exhausted. I had to help at the schools.
Yeah, she didn't participate in the concrete pour today.
No, I didn't.
All right. It's long enough. What do you got to say? You got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, I was like gonna talk about your shirt because
Okay.
I saw that you had put that shirt on, and we'd been talking about the tribulation training shirt and or getting them made, and now that we finally have them, it's a nice reminder to don't for us to not lose focus on the real reason why we are building this community, and together we are mighty, and we can do it if we do our part plus a little bit.
Yeah.
And that little bit is so important because just doing your part stops there.
Yeah.
And if we all do our part plus that little bit, then we overlap and we help each other out. And it's not just what's in it for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part. I'm growing my food. But if I do my part plus a little bit, then I'm growing my food for myself, and I'm eating better, but I'm also helping somebody else eat a little bit better and feed their families.
Yeah, I think it's easy in this world to fall back on what, on the training that we've already received in this world, right? And they teach us to become an enemy with our neighbor, and they teach us men not to like women, and women not to like men, and black people not to like white people, and they create all of this crazy divide, and then they set us up in a situation where we don't look out for each other, and getting away from that can be kind of hard. But I think your point on focusing on why do we start community? Why do we yoke up? Why do we have even this community online? Why do we do it? And if I promise you, we don't make money doing it. So, why do we? Right? I mean, well, we don't.
No.
And so why do we do it all? And I think we got to remember, guys, that we're in tribulation training. That the dark days are headed our way, and we all know it, and we can feel it, and I can feel it in my bones. I was telling Indiana Mike and his beautiful bride today, talking about how I feel this immense amount of pressure, like I'm chasing this invisible clock, all the time. And I wouldn't be anywhere near as far as I am today if it wasn't for community. And I'm going to get a lot further, because they're here.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just read some of these comments real quick. Yep. Takes a village. Boy, does it. Well, Tag, never say it can't get worse. I came and had to have a natural gas cut off because of a big leak under the house. So I'm already in tribulation training. Well, I think we spend a lot of time there anyway, right? I mean, I know that, Jeff and Louise celebrated their second well today, but the journey it took them to get to those two wells was not easy.
Was tribulation. And
it was months, and it was hard, and it was, made it through many tears. Things didn't quite work out his way. So I'm super glad they got that win now. But I think that we're all tribulation training. If you remember, Skane's Girl, when I was speaking, I was talking, from Midwest, when we were talking about the live, I was talking about how everybody has this journey, right? And everybody's journey, they have a story that they're in somewhere in there,
Yep.
And, but if not for community, then what for? And I think B's point of just not forgetting why we're doing this is super important. Evil with his idle hands is lurking. Stay focused on doing good acts for people you love every day. Avoid noise. What will make you and your relationship better tomorrow than they were today?
Right.
Well said.
Right.
Tags, her nails are clean and should be her tires. Clean those motherfuckers. No. There's no reason to clean them. It's a tractor. Jammer, I couldn't have said it better. The Great Divide. Jack Spirko's words have been in my head the last few days. Organize and people. The purpose is what they do, not what they say they do. Focused on actions, not rhetoric. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, attitude, American roots is 100% of the battle. I would argue it's more than half. It's 99%, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Pack Rat, how are you, bud? So the live chat window finally came up in order to say howdy right before sign off. Wonder where it was this whole time. Hard to say, huh? Black and White 2020. Migrate and Patriots next. Yeah, they work hard, don't they, on getting us to hate each other. Reach out to your neighbor. And then here's the thing. Let's treat the people we love and the people we care for better than we treat a stranger. How about that? Right? Yeah. Gregory says, has a great weekend until next Friday. Yeah. Be a pain in the ass, but know you're in. There's so many. Hey, paid off mortgage today. Now the hard work begins. Chris, congratulations, everybody. Let's give a round of applause. Yeah, paid off the mortgage. Hey, Chris, you send me an email. I'll send you a Freeman hat. Tribulation in the Bible. There will be famines worse than the world has ever seen. There was a time that people ate their children. Leather, I think this is such an important point. And yet, how many people spend their time today, right, fighting these insignificant things that don't matter, right, when this is what we're preparing for. I'll read it again. Tribulation in the Bible, there will be famines worse than the world has ever seen. There was a time that people ate their children. Ouch. Heard a thought today. We are already at the start of the apocalypse period. Maybe so. Yeah, congratulations, Chris. Well, I can't think of a better way to leave this tonight than congratulations, Chris. And I hope you email me because I will absolutely send you a Freeman hat. And, let's celebrate those things together. And I think just kind of as we leave, let's bring up the bottom, right? Let's pass on our skills. Let's pass on these traits. Let's build community. Let's yoke up. Let's think of the community as part of the relationships. Let's not be selfish. Let's not be self-centered. And let's just go out there and do the right thing, because at the end of the day, we're going to need it, because we are all in tribulation training. Good night, everybody.
Good night.